Thursday, June 13th. Welcome back to the Damon Bruce Show, brought to you by Ikes Sandwiches. And breaking news, for the first time ever, I forgot my coffee upstairs. That means no sip of the day today. So all action is off the board. I can't believe I forgot my coffee upstairs. Let me try to get through this show without the coffee. A test of professionalism here today on the Damon Bruce Show. Let's see how I do with it. Look, a test of Luka Doncic's professionalism isn't one that he's doing too well in right now, because that guy, look, I'm a Luka Doncic guy. That guy is incredible. He's one of the most tooled up, youngest, great offensive basketball players of all time already at this point in his career. As a defender, he's awful. And as a complainer, he's among the worst in basketball history. This guy is looking for officials to bail him out of everything. If he worked half as hard at moving his feet on defense as he did moving his lips defensively, trying to explain away why this wasn't a foul or I was done wrong here, that's a bad call there, the Dallas Mavericks might be in this series. They are not. They are not in this series. Now down 0-3. Look, Boston is better. And even though you got a Luka who fouled out but was playing pretty well before that happened, and a better game out of Kyrie Irving, there just isn't enough to combat what Boston is doing. Now holding Dallas under 100 points 3 games in a row. And look, as today's thumbnail suggested, I'm here to let you know that the NBA's in-season tournament might have been actually better than this postseason tournament. This NBA postseason has kind of sucked. You know, I'm not just going to say that it's, this is what you get when the Warriors and LeBron aren't in it. It's not their absence. It's the presence of so much parity that unfortunately doesn't really play out with an awful lot of series parity. I mean, you got anybody in this league who can beat anybody in this league, but unfortunately, we've had an awful lot of lopsided here. It takes 15 series to make an NBA postseason. 15 series. Obviously, each league has 8 teams qualify, so you have 4 opening round games, and then you bracket all the way down to the NBA Finals, and the NBA Finals is the 15th series in the NBA playoffs. If Boston wins 4 in a row here, if Boston gets the sweep Friday night in Game 4, it will be the 4th postseason series sweep, with 4 other of them being gentlemen sweeps, and that doesn't keep people tuned in. That is not compelling postseason basketball. We had it's what you see last that leaves that lasting impression in your mouth. Our only interesting came in the first and second rounds. The Western Conference Finals were over in 5, right? The Western Conference Finals were over in 5. The Eastern Conference Finals were over in 4 as the Celtics swept the Pacers, and now our NBA Finals are likely over in 4. So there was something interesting happen, and then when everyone leans in for the conference finals and the NBA Finals, it's been lousy series. It really has been. It leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. 3 series, just 3 of them, reached a Game 7. We had Cavs and Mavs in round 1, and no one was even paying attention to that, so it's like it didn't matter. Then we got a good Timberwolves-Nuggets series that actually broke out with on-court drama, and this is interesting, and it was covered well. The Pacers and Knicks also went to a 7th game, but the coverage around that series was so slanted towards New York that that series really didn't even get a chance to breathe. It was just Stephen A. Smith walking into Madison Square Garden, and we have pregame footage of that. And why? He's not playing tonight. What are we doing? The NBA has so muddled up the noise around a good series that you hardly even remembered that it was a good series. The media has been more discussed than the on-court play has been entertaining this postseason. It really has been. You know, you got TNT's Inside the NBA Everyone is talking about that. You got Charles Barkley ripping his own network to the point where the network is trying to go back in for one last bite of the NBA to keep that show alive. It's like they want to keep that show alive more than they actually want to keep the broadcast rights. Game 4 of the NBA Finals is going to be on Friday, and if Boston wins, the basketball season's over. I hate when basketball season's over, especially when the postseason is just such a dud. And really, you look around at all of our postseasons right now. It obviously didn't end very well for 49ers fans, the NFL's postseason. And since I talked to them the most, that's, the taste that is sort of in everyone's mouth. So no one liked, in San Francisco, how the NFL's postseason ended. I'm sure they're very happy with it in Kansas City. But that kind of came and went with a left everyone wanting more feeling. Then you had the least memorable NCAA tournament ever on the men's side. So unentertaining that the women, who actually offered some drama with Caitlin Clark in Iowa and South Carolina, all of that happening in the women's Final Four. The women's Final Four outrates the men's Final Four for the first time ever. The women actually did probably give us our best postseason. The NBA's postseason has been a flop. No one really even pays attention to baseball's postseason unless the team that you root for is actually in it these days. What else? What else have we gotten? We've gotten, the Stanley Cup Finals, which tonight we are all from Edmonton. What does that make us, Edmontonians? Are we all Edmontonians tonight? We need Edmonton. Let's go, Oilers. Let's go, Oilers. Give me a postseason series, please. Don't let Florida go up 3-0 with a win tonight in Game 3, and then that is all but done. Stanley Cup Finals game in Edmonton. It's the first Finals game on Edmonton ice since 2006. Give it to me. Give it to me. I hope we get the chick who flashed in the Western Conference Finals back on the TV. She had a set for the ages. Her Stanley Cups runneth over. So hopefully the Cups will be in the house tonight, and then maybe eventually the Stanley Cup actually gets into the, into the rink as well. But go Edmonton. Let's get it done, baby. Let's get it done. Give it to me. And when I say give it to me, I want to give something to you that is officially the best Ikes promotion that we have had since Ike and I have been in business together over here. And I'm going to put it up just so you all know. The promo code DADDY is a buy one, get one free sandwich situation, but you got to use the app, the Ikes Reward app. It is good between now and Father's Day. Have at it. Have at it. A free sandwich. That's a hell of a deal. Free sandwich for you and your dad. Use promo code DADDY when you sign out on the Ikes Reward app. This is not good at 3 Bay Area locations, and I'm sorry about that, but this goes through Father's Day on June 16th. Download the Ikes app, use promo code DADDY at checkout. Unfortunately, this isn't available at the Santa Rosa, the San Mateo, or the Redwood City locations. But everywhere else there's an Ikes, you can use this promo code. I was actually supposed to tease it for a few days, and then they were going to turn it on Sunday. I screwed it up, so they're going to go with my screw up. It's available right now, and thanks to Ikes for making that happen. Thanks to Ike's team. Thanks to Ike himself. And thanks to all of you for supporting me by showing our sponsors how much you're going to go out and use this promo code to feed your dad on Father's Day. Get a sandwich with your dad. Or buy one, get one free, and eat 2 sandwiches yourself. You can go ahead and do that too. I'm good with that. Thank you so much to Ikes. Thanks to all the dads out there. Here is your free sandwich, courtesy of the Damon Bruce Show and Ikes, using promo code DADDY. Now, I can't quite turn around and buy you a beer Not today, anyways, at the Dubliner, but maybe someday I will. You'll join me there. Kenny will be there. We'll be serving up some Guinness, a few shots. Get yourself to the Dubliner in West Portal for a great drink, great atmosphere, great crowd, great place to watch a game, great place to celebrate something, drown your sorrows, whatever you need in your bar. They got it for you at the Dubliner, except food. No food. So again, use promo code DADDY, walk in there with a couple sandwiches, sit down, order a drink, have some lunch, enjoy our good friends at the Dubliner West Portal. How do you support the show? You do that by liking and subscribing. How do you support the show? Well, you can certainly become a member. Memberships are available if you'd like to be among the initiated. And then you go ahead and you support my sponsors. That is a great way to go out and support the show. Thank you so very, very much to our good sponsors. Again, it is a great promo code at Ikes using Daddy. Why are you using Daddy? Because this weekend is Father's Day. You know, my boys are both very, very excited. They're at that age, 4 and 2, to where now this means something to them. They've been bringing home little cutout ties and ribbons. And I'm excited for my boys because they're excited about Father's Day, and it's so sweet. It really is. It's so sweet to watch the two kids get excited. I also love Father's Day because it means the U.S. Open is here. You want to talk about, moments when I really miss my father? I miss my dad on Masters Sunday because it's something that we always watch together. We would always call and talk about the the second 9 at Augusta. And then, of course, we always had that same conversation. Father's Day, the fact that the U.S. Open Sunday round always lands on Father's Day. It's just one of the best timed sporting events calendar-wise of the entire year. And we already got them watering the greens at Pinehurst this morning. They didn't wait for the afternoon sun to come bake them into a little too fast. They started off a little too fast, which means we are going to have ourselves a gloriously disastrous U.S. Open. Golfers complaining about green speed when they're on the driving range. That's my kind of U.S. Open. I want golfers to suffer. I want every single one of them to put a snowman somewhere on their scorecard over 4 rounds of U.S. Open play. Oh, you got an 8. You just scored an 8 on this hole at a major. And that's what the U.S. Open's built to do. The U.S. Open is built to be the most humbling of all the majors. And ideally, the winner comes in at par. Like, that is the goal of the difficulty of the course, that you come in at par in Pinehurst. When Pinehurst is set up for U.S. Open play, it can be nasty. It can be real nasty. Now, I do see there are some lows. I saw, Patrick Cantlay was out there a little while ago when I had the leaderboard up. He was already -4. So that's a real nice start to a U.S. Open round. But I want suffering. I want broadcasters complaining. I want golfers with their heads in their hand. I want forlorn press conferences and guys looking to the sky for answers that aren't there. That's my kind of U.S. Open. Wasn't it great when Tiger, he had like an 18 under at Pebble for the U.S. Open? No, that wasn't great. We didn't want that. We don't want that at the U.S. Open. We want that in other moments of our golf, but we want the U.S. Open to be hell on earth for every golfer out there. So, way to go, Pinehurst. Make them suffer, baby. And we'll all get together and suffer together. And on Sunday, you know what? Maybe you're sitting around with your dad enjoying one of those buy one, get one free sandwiches at Ikes because you use promo code DADDY at checkout. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Little baseball from the Bay. Got the Giants hosting the Angels starting on Friday night in San Francisco. The Giants did take 2 of 3 from the Astros. Look at Austin Slater. I mean, there was nowhere to go but up for Austin Slater. He had the walk-off extra innings game winner in Game 1 of the Astros series Wednesday in the getaway game for the Astros. Slater drove in. He had 3 hits, 2 RBIs. He stole a base and he scored. Hey, Austin Slater, welcome to your career. Welcome to your season. Glad to see you do something. Maybe he's heating up a little bit. Again, you see ball, hit ball. It all of a sudden makes seeing ball, hitting ball a little bit easier. So maybe Austin Slater is shaken out of it. Giants are just one game back to under 500. And again, you got the Angels in town through Father's Day. So A's are at the Twins, by the way. They'll get going around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Only a mother could love that series, but enjoy if you want to. Again, Stanley Cup tonight. Give me a Game 3 and give me an Edmonton win, because I do not want the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals to both be a couple of sweeps. We've been seeing way too much of Broomhilda lately, and she's ready to go. Broomhilda is ready to march. So be cautious. Be careful. Broomhilda, she's lurking. Speaking of lurking, oh my God, a second hockey story, this one involving the Sharks. How about that? Speaking of Sharks.
Done scoring.
Unfortunately, he's no longer here.
Done scoring.
We will miss him forever. Not named new head coach of the San Jose Sharks was...
Done scoring.
It's not him. Ryan Warsofsky. Come on down. He was a team assistant for a couple of seasons under previous Sharks coach David Quinn. Not Dan Quinn. That's another Quinn. That's the NFL's Quinn. Warsofsky oversaw the Sharks' defense and penalty killing units while working with a very young roster, and he's been elevated to their next head coach. And you want to talk about nowhere to go but up. Man, that's the San Jose Sharks in a nutshell. He's only 36 years old, which is going to make him the youngest head coach in the NHL. So there's that. And there's also the fact that the Sharks had the second lowest point total in the salary cap era. They had the worst record. They won the lottery. They do have the first pick in the upcoming draft, and it seems like Boston University center, Hobie Baker Award winner, consensus #1 pick, Macklin Celebrini will be in Teal soon, and he's got a head coach that's just a little bit older than him. So Sharks got nowhere to go but up. Embrace the youth, embrace the movement, embrace the kids, and let's see what the Sharks look like a couple years from now. But they got a lot of work to do to even pretend to be interesting again. Warsofsky. Now I feel like I'm doing a Jim Rome segment. I got a gambling story for you on an otherwise slow news day. How about this for a gambling story that is officially sort of unlike one that you've heard? And there have been a lot of gambling stories in the media lately. This one's a doozy. And at the end of it, I'm going to ask you the question, so what's a bet anyway? What is a bet? I'm guessing a lot of you in your own mind have a definition of what a bet is. I will come ask you at the end of this story that I'm about to share with you if a bet was made, yes or no. So Bernie Kosar works or did work for the Cleveland Browns. I don't really know what capacity he was in. Was he doing broadcaster pre-post game? Was he just a consultant around the team? I don't know. You know, the Browns really don't need much of a reason to have Bernie Kosar around. He's a living legend of a franchise that doesn't have many living legends to offer. So, of course, Bernie Kosar is around, but now he isn't because he placed a wager on a sportsbook app after Ohio legalized gambling, and Kosar is now suing over the incident because the Browns let him go because he did this. And I guess if you're a team employee, you're not allowed to bet on the game. But again, I will ask you, did Bernie Kosar make a bet? Hold on. So The Athletic reports that Kosar has filed a civil suit against a podcasting company, Big Play, and its co-owner, Kendall Miles. And in the complaint, Kosar claims that the company breached its contract with him and attempted to threaten him so that he would change the terms of his deal. He seeks damages in excess of $850,000 and another $25,000 in attorney's fees. So what happened here? In a nutshell, according to The Athletic, what happened here was Bernie Kosar claims the company, which hired him to be a promoter, the company told him that he had to place a $19,000 bet on the Browns to beat the Steelers. The wager was required in his contract, which he agreed to what? Do promotion for this gambling website. By the way, doing promotions for gambling websites on podcast is a rite of passage. We did one last season. We will be doing another one this season as the details of that are getting worked out around a sponsor for this coming football season. You are going to see a gambling service attached to this show. I will be promoting it. I'm sure I will be using it. I'll be telling you about some of the wagers that I make, all small potato stuff. No, I'm not going to be betting $19,000 on anything. I don't have $19,000 to bet right now. And even if I did, I probably wouldn't be betting $19,000. It's a little too rich for my blood. Probably not too rich for Bernie Kosar's blood, but he didn't even really place the bet. Again, in a nutshell, Bernie claims that the company told him he had to place a $19,000 bet on the Browns to beat the Steelers. The wager was required by his contract, but the contract also guaranteed that Mr. Kosar would not be liable nor responsible for the amount of money wagered, nor would he be entitled to any winnings that may occur because of the wager. This was pure promotion. We want it to look like Bernie Kosar is betting $19,000 on this app. If he loses, he doesn't owe us $19,000. And if he wins, we're not rewarding him with any of the monetary wins. It was part of the deal. Well, Kosar places the, air quotes, bet, and the Browns fired him for violating the league's gambling policy. So what's a bet? What is a bet? To me, the not looking at the dictionary just off the top of my own head, trying to give an alien that just landed on the planet the definition of a bet, I would say a bet occurs when I wager something that has a monetary value on the outcome of something, and based on that outcome, I either lose the wager I placed on it or profit from the wager that I placed on it. To me, a bet is not symbolic. A bet isn't a bet with nothing ventured and nothing to be gained. Or at that point, it's just a gentleman's bet. You know, I'll bet you, my buddy, handshake, there's a bet. Again, if you cannot win anything or lose anything, what have you wagered? You're just doing a promotion. And what I do know is that the NFL is all about gambling promotions. Every single time I turn on TV, there is a gambling promotion based around football happening with football players attached to said promotions and teams, and the league is clearly cool with betting. Again, you probably don't want team employees wagering anything because there is inside knowledge, inside information to which, somebody could take advantage of and turn a profit with. But you cannot turn a profit with any information that you might have if the bet you made is only happening in imagination land. How did the Browns fire Bernie Kosar for this? How is that allowed? He didn't make a bet. He had nothing wagered. There was nothing to lose. There was nothing to gain. And if there's nothing to lose and nothing to gain, you aren't betting, right? Right? Am I nuts here? Is this crazy talk? I don't think it is. Again, I'm not here for symbolism. I'm not here for symbolism. I'm really not. I don't care what was supposed to be happening here. What did happen was nothing. So, as the story in The Athletic continues, true or false, Kosar had a dilemma. The NFL's gambling policy prohibits wagering. His deal with Big Play required him to place a wager, even if his Big Play contract said he wouldn't be liable or responsible for the bet and he couldn't get any of the winnings. That's not binding to the NFL. Okay, so now we're really arguing over two different things. What Bernie Kosar should have done is make sure that the promotion he was agreeing to sign a contract didn't cost him his job, I could also assume why Bernie would assume that if there's nothing actually wagered, I don't have anything to worry about. And it just feels like a conversation behind a closed door amongst reasonable people could have hashed out an outcome other than we have a lawsuit, Bernie got fired, Bernie is suing everybody. Right? Is logic applied to nothing? That's insane. It's really crazy. Let's see. Couple more stories on an otherwise slow news day. Again, I forgot my coffee upstairs. It's amazing that I've made it this far in the show. Did you see the worst poorly planned, based on what else is happening in this town tonight, retirement ceremony of all time? Jay-Z got up to play the Tom Brady's number is being retired by the Patriots big ceremony that they had. And just coincidentally, we're up against game 3 of the Boston Celtics being in the NBA Finals. If there was ever a time to move the Brady event either back a couple of hours, move it up a couple of hours, or just move it to another day, that would have been it. It also, with all of we have literally, we get days off, handsfuls of days off in the NBA Finals. How someone with the New England Patriots wasn't aware of how good the Boston Celtics were and just let's make sure we're scheduling the Tom Brady retirement on a day where the NBA Finals isn't being played. So if the Celtics, who are the Eastern Conference overlords this year, are in it, we're not going to have a conflict of interest. Doesn't anybody making plans start connecting the dots? So, right there, you screwed that up, New England Patriots. And then they literally surprise, here's Jay-Z opening the Tom Brady retirement ceremony, and this group of wearing sport coat because it's New England, LL Bean, 99% white people aren't even paying attention. I don't even think that they knew who that was. Jay-Z comes out from the smoke, and instead of being greeted with like, holy shit, we just came to see Tom Brady get his number retired. Maybe we'd get a story from Julian Edelman, or maybe Drew Bledsoe is going to show up and say something. Maybe. What do you think's going to happen? Probably not Jay-Z. Boom, it's Jay-Z. People were like having cocktails, turned around and talking with each other. There's this, just a black guy on stage. No reason to pay attention over there. You had people mingling at a cocktail party because they didn't even know who was on stage. What an embarrassing night for the New England Patriots. At least it looked like that crowd sucked to me. How many white people do you need in a New England Patriots retirement party before you can identify the most famous living rapper probably in the world, right? Jay-Z comes out to a massive amount of by the good people of New England. So that's how that party started. And then the entire crowd spent the rest of their night on their phones watching the Celtics game, I'm guessing. What do you want to do tonight, Bostonian sports fans? Do you want to watch a whole bunch of people sitting in folding chairs telling stories about bygone good old days that really aren't even those old anymore? Like, we were just doing the Tom Brady thing 15 minutes ago. So, you haven't had enough time to even bake in the nostalgia to get everybody all emotional about this. Tom Brady, with roasts and his upcoming broadcasting year, has been so jammed down our throats, it wasn't like it was good to see Tom Brady again. He's been in plain sight for an awful lot of this. I love it when really smart people screw things up. And there are a lot of really smart people who screwed things up when it comes to that. All right. Final story of today's show before we get into Club Plus and see what everyone's been chatting about. I haven't even looked at the chat. Don't even know what's going on over there yet, but we'll see it soon. Have you seen the story that a restaurant that wanted a grown-up and sexy vibe decided to ban diners under the age of 30? It happened at a restaurant called Bliss, which is a Caribbean restaurant, excuse me, outside of St. Louis. And they're aiming for an upscale luxury vibe. And they want good food, good drinks. I guess they got hookahs going on in there. And they basically told Generation TikTok to stay the fuck outside. What we don't want in this restaurant is a whole bunch of people taking pictures of their food and spending time on their phone. We want actual adults in here drinking and talking to each other. So we have to ban people under the age of 30. I think it's a great idea. I really do. I think it's a great idea. Sorry, anyone who's under the age of 30. And if you're cool enough to be under the age of 30 and watching this show, maybe this doesn't apply to you. But your generation is the most on their phones, don't know how to talk to people, don't know how to look anybody in the eye, not interesting, not funny, not intelligent. You know, all your information is Googled. There's really no learned information that you can pass on to anyone anecdotally or conversationally. You've all been inside since the pandemic, since 2019. You forgot how to talk to each other, how to be out, how to order food. It's amazing. So anyway, since opening its doors in May, the restaurant has operated with an unusual age restriction, allowing only women who are at least 30 and men who are at least 35. These are the rules of the owner, and they've been defending it to maintain a grown and sexy atmosphere. Again, when you can apply the word sexy liberally with no 20-year-olds, that's on you. Like you are so bubble-headed with nothing to say that there's no amount of tight dress or cleavage that the 20-year-olds can even offer us in here that we're interested in. That's unbelievable. So the policy is in place to ensure a mature, sophisticated, and safe dining environment for everyone. I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea. Have generation doesn't know how to order, doesn't know how to tip well, doesn't drink anymore, just takes pictures of food they order. Just stay out. That's a great idea. Legally, restaurants have the right to impose age limits because age is not a protected class in that context. Controversies around age restrictions have usually cropped up when restaurants ban children, not when they ban adults. But that's where this restaurant is. Last year, a place called Nettie's House of Spaghetti in New Jersey drew rebuke and praise when it banned kids under the age of 10, citing noise and crazy messes that they brought. So look, I got friends who just opened up an awesome bar called the Halfway Club out on Geneva. It's a bar and restaurant. And because people coming back out to the bar doesn't happen en masse like it used to, instead of just being a bar for the grown-ups, they've extended themselves and opened up a back room where families come in. And between the hours of 5 and 8 p.m., they're doing, like, it's called the Halfway Club. I was joking around, you should call it the 4.5-way club because my 4.5-year-old loves it. They put on some Pixar Disney movies in the back. Parents bring their kids. The kids sit stunned looking at the movie on the big screen. And the parents can have a cocktail and a little something to eat. And the kids are mostly well behaved. When my buddies Greg and Ethan envisioned opening up a bar, I guarantee you they never assumed that they would be having so many kids showing up and that being part of their business model. But it's become that way because generation go get a drink doesn't go get a drink anymore. You know, you got things that are so pussified called like dry January, dry February. Yeah, go get a cocktail. How about doing that? Make it wet again. So, yeah, when you fill a restaurant with more kids than you were expecting, it can get a little loud. It can get a little annoying. But you know what? These restaurants need to stay open. And if there's more families coming in with kids than there are singles walking in to grab a drink, guess who wins? Business wins. Bringing the most business in wins. The fact that Bliss outside of St. Louis is like, yeah, we don't even need 20-year-olds. 20-year-olds are now regarded, as far as they're concerned, as children. And the maturity level on some of you, you know that that's not too far away from the bullseye. And there you go. I promised I would never waste a minute of your time. Nothing, absolutely nothing going on in sports needs to be shared other than everything that I just shared with you. You got it all. Thank you so much for watching here on YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube, we're going to hop into Club Plus and hang out a little bit longer. But if you're just listening on the podcast, thank you so much. Again, remember, promo code DADDY on the Ikes Reward app between now and Father's Day is going to get you a buy one, get one free sandwich. Sounds good to me. Hope it sounds good to you too. Go see my friends at the Dubliner. And please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Squeaky disco ball plugged in. Here we go. All right. We open up the chat. What have we got going on? Good chat. What do we got? What do we got? Let's see. North Bay needs more love. What, from Ikes? Hey, I don't know what the deal is with these not participating 3 locations. I can't help it. I'm sorry that it's not everywhere. It's not me. Vince Vargas saying Ikes at the plant in San Jose, Monterey, and Kernter. Lunchtime. Go ahead, get yourself some lunch. Go ahead, get yourself some lunch. Oh, yeah, I understand right now that there's a radio station I used to work at has disabled all YouTube comments. Look at it this way. That's them telling you everything about you need to know. We have a community over here. I will never shut off the comments on you. We might have to put some jerks in some timeouts every now and then, but we're not shutting off comments over here. Alex ATL says a YouTube stream that has comments enabled. You love to see it. How about that? How about that? Allowing you to have a voice right here. .95.7 disabling YouTube chat commentary is so odd. Not sure when they'll bring it back. Well, I don't know what's going on. And I'm not going to bother to even ask because I don't care. Because Damon is a hashtag daddy. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. There was a point in time where before I went all gray here, I never had red hair. My hair was always blonde, or excuse me, like a strawberry-ish brown tops. It was never red, but I did have auburn hues in the beard. I did. And one of my friends gave me the nickname the Ginger Bear Daddy. I would have been huge in the gay community. The Ginger Bear Daddy that nickname had to be retired when there was no ginger left to be found anywhere on this face. But sure, I'm your hashtag daddy. And if you use promo code daddy, you get a free sandwich. Tiger Tanko 6, how's the battle against 95.7 The Game going, Damon? Are they still trying to steal sponsors? I'm sure they are. How about this? There are very few ideas that I have on here that don't still somehow mystically appear on that channel. I mean, I know that we're all kind of talking about the same thing, but boy, there are like direct sentences from this show that I hear lifted and passed off as their own. But people have been robbing from me for decades in this town. So It's not going to stop anytime soon, right? Smiley Dan. Smiley Dan saying, I bet on 3 golfers this week. 2 of them are already +7. So goodbye, money. At least you're not Bernie Kosar. See, that's the thing. You bet on golfers. You're going to lose that money if they don't win. Therefore, that was an actual bet. The opposite of what Bernie Kosar had. But Smiley, sorry about that. Cantlay goes -5. Is this round over? Did he seriously open with a first round 500 at the U.S. Open where everyone's talking about fast greens? There you go, Patrick Cantlay. Yeah, look, if you're disabling chats, you must be scared of them in some way, or scared that your hosts are going to be hurt by what they're reading or distracted by what they're reading. I know this. They could have enabled chats and not had the chat on or the YouTube page up in their studio. They could have handled it like that. Look at it this way. As long as I'm not on the radio, you should basically assume the radio is trying to fuck you over. Because if they cared about you, I'd still be there. They don't care about you, which is why I'm not there. If giving you the best product available were the goal, I'd still be on the air talking to you. I wouldn't be over here. But that's not the goal. Pushing money through an equation is the only goal of these stations. Serving you, the listener, is not even on the list of things to do today. It isn't. And I know that for a fact. I've been in enough meetings to know that for a fact. Collies Werve. I don't know how to pronounce that, but he's a Ravens up, baby. Love the show, Bruce. Diehard Ravens fan, though. Well, thank you. Look, I don't care who you root for. I'm glad that you're watching. Thank you for watching, and you're going to get some grown-up adult sports over here that you're not going to get in other places. Thank you very much for watching. BC says Adam Silver ruined the league with the play-in and the CBA restricting dynasties. Look, the play-in tournament is fine with me. I don't mind it. I wouldn't have done it, but I don't mind it. It does keep on eliminating teams that would bring a lot more eyeballs to the party. So there is a problem baked into it that the NBA needs to deal with. The play-in, I don't have a problem with it. But this whole second apron, I mean, they're basically, the league is being operated through the prism of punishing the Golden State Warriors for how good they were at basketball for a while there. That second apron might as well be called the Joe Lacob tax. You know, the Warriors are guilty of the following: drafting well, developing well, signing free agents. These should not be things that bear punitive damage against you. But this is how the leagues operate. They just want to rob teams that are successful of their success in the name of what? Parity, where dominant teams are really what appeal to people. You know, we don't like a whole bunch of might be's. We like overlords. We like dominance in our sports. JJ Rader. If it's in writing, then he should be cleared. Guess we're talking about Bernie Kosar here. Again, if you placed an imaginary wager on a gambling site, are you betting? I would say no. If there's nothing to be gained or lost, you didn't do anything other than offer up a commercial. But you need to, I mean, if you are Bernie Kosar, right, you need to clear that with your employer to make sure that that's all good. So Bernie is guilty of not making sure that he couldn't be tripped up by this. But I don't think he's guilty of betting on anything. True blue forever, straight up. That ain't betting. No, it's not. That isn't a bet. That's not a bet. Money has to exchange hands. Exactly. Or it doesn't need to be money. I mean, we could have bet this. We could have bet this blue Sharpie on something. If you're right, you get the blue Sharpie. If I'm right, I get your blue Sharpie. But there has to be some sort of transaction. There was no transaction. There was no win. There was no loss. How does Bernie fall into this? The Browns are penalizing Kosar by his association with a sports betting company. Why? There's a lot of people in the NFL, like the entire NFL, associating with sports gambling companies right now. It's happening in plain sight everywhere. Michelle Haberman. Hey, shout out Imagination Land, one of the best South Park arcs ever. No doubt. This is reverse the Pete Rose ban immediately. Literally everyone is gambling now. Trevor, you're right, but when Pete did it, no one was gambling. You weren't allowed to. You cannot retrofit what used to be real into what is now. Time evolves. When Pete did what he did, he earned a lifetime ban. Pete Rose should never be allowed back to baseball based on what he did, but he should be enshrined in the Hall of Fame the year after he dies. He should. He should serve his lifetime ban. He should make no money off any Hall of Fame plaque or inclusion or ceremony or anything. He got as much money out of baseball by telling a lie and then saying, oh, I was lying this whole time when it was good and time to write a book. Melvin, he saw the thumbnail today. Luka Doncic is a flop. He does flop a lot. He bitches an awful lot. You know what Luka Doncic really kind of is? He's a younger, taller, heavier, more offensively tooled up version of James Harden. Offensive brilliance, defensive absence, and just complain. But he actually even complains more than Harden ever did. Harden didn't really have much to complain about. That guy got a free pass to the free throw line, 20 times a game it would be. Harden loved the whistle that he got, so he didn't want to screw it up. Luka just bitches and moans about everything. Again, I love the guy. He's an incredible player. If you said, Damon, you need to start your franchise with one guy right now, Luka would be right at the top of the list of guys I would consider to start that franchise with. He is that good, and he's still that young. But being that good, that young, and being the man everywhere you go allows you to believe that you can just yell at everybody. And Luka needs to get out of his own headspace, and Brian Windhorst calling him out of it. Brian Windhorst really called Luka Doncic out, saying, you know what, if he ever wants to be in the winning tunnel, he's got to stop playing like this and acting like this and carrying on like this. For Luka Doncic to have walked into the press conference last night and complained about fouling out when he did commit way too many fouls and deserved to foul out of that game, that means you don't get the lesson here. The lesson isn't complain louder or more. The lesson is play better defense. Be more accountable. Julian says, the NBA playoffs have a complete dud. No big markets, Damon. The UFL has been exciting. I'm not following any UFL anything, really. But look, you don't need big markets. And by the way, last time I checked, Boston and Dallas are not small cities or regarded as small markets. If you need New York, Chicago, LA, or Golden State to save your NBA finals, you got to talk about what's going on in these NBA finals. I don't think market size has anything to do with it. You need a game 6. You need consequences that feel like either team could do something. Since the Western and Eastern Conference finals began, we have had boring, lopsided basketball. That's the problem. What is the over-under on the temperature of Damon's coffee upstairs? Oh, it's probably plummeting, Smiley Dan. It's just sitting in the tumbler, just getting colder and colder. I'm going to go up and drink that coffee like it's refreshing. Did they have 70,000 in attendance for the Tom Brady thing? It looked like all 70,000 didn't know who Jay-Z was, which is about as white and Massachusettsy as it gets. And it feels like all 70,000 were on their phone watching something else called the Boston Celtics are in the NBA Finals. Terrible, terrible broadcasting. Speaking of yawns, I know that Damon said go to the Sphere to see anybody, but the Eagles? Not for me. Yeah, look, to me, there is no Eagles without Glenn Fry. There's no Eagles without Glenn Fry. Like that really can't be. He really can't be replaced. And the Eagles have been pumping it's still us, but it's not really still them. Can't do it. And I know the Grateful Dead feels a little guilty of it too, but John Mayer has so thoroughly stepped in to Phil Garcia's role and done such a good job with it. It's almost his band now. Der Kaiser and Gilroy says, come on, Boston caring about Jay-Z. You know it's all about Marky Mark, John Cena, or the House of Pain. Yeah. House of Pain. Jump up, and get down. Bliss. Excluding people under 30, going to get me a table. Besides, those under 30-somethings are still paying off college debt. They probably couldn't afford it anyways. How about Chef A? She works in restaurants. She's like, I love that band. That's here. That's here's to that ballsy restaurant. I mean it. That is fantastic. Yeah, 30-year-old. You're all out. By the way, Chef A says, speaking of sophisticated.
Pound it, pound it, pound it, pound it.
Again, if I were ever invited in any way possible to do shows again on KNBR, I would walk in there and I'd be like, you guys still got my own soundboard? If you still got my old soundboard in here? Because if you do,
I gotta say, I'm just fired up to be here today.
Here you go. This is all you need to know. Chef A. Gen Z. They drank canned White Claw. I gotta be honest. So did Joe Fortenbaugh. Joe Fortenbaugh. He drank White Claw. Don't see JJ Rader knows. I blame Joe Fortenbaugh. Fortenbaugh loved those White Claws. I called him White Clawtenbaugh. Joe Clawtenbaugh. How about this? You got Chef A coming in San Francisco later today. Maybe I can get to the Dubliner in West Portal. That'd be wonderful if you could. Go in there, say hi. Red Jet knows what time it is. Squeaky disco ball time. I hope you've enjoyed your squeaky disco ball. Blame it on the Plus. JT saying blame it on the Plus. You're feeling a little loose. I like it. I like it. Michelle should be here. Yeah. You had the fantastic Auburn beard back in the day. It did. It got just a touch red. Damon, getting a little Just for Men beard dye for Christmas? No, I will be dyeing nothing. The only dyeing I will be doing is actually dying. And that's the only dying I will be doing. I will not dye the beard. I will not dye the hair. That is my promise to you. It's just against me. I remember I was talking to a friend of mine who was like, why don't you dye your beard and your hair? And I said, well, this is actually what confidence looks like. Drink it in. It's also me never spending a day in my life really giving a rip about what I looked like. I don't care. You know, I'm not horrific. Like anything above not horrific is all I've ever shot for. I'm presentable. And that's good. And here's the real thing. Jillian loves it. Jillian loves the salt and pepper. I've asked her too. I was like, honey, should I get rid of the beard? Now it's going gray faster than my hair is even going gray. And she's like, no, I shaved once. Shaved it all off to go to a Mexican vacation several years ago. I came out of the bathroom and Jillian was like, holy shit, who are you? Go get a beard. Like get a fake beard and wear it because I don't want to look at you without one. So she came down very pro beard. That radio station's scared of the chat. They're scared of you. Let me ask you, were you harassing them about me? Was every other chat, where's Damon? Where's Damon? Because I could see that would be a reason why they would turn it off. Because they know they've so thoroughly screwed up their own station. Red Jet just says, I blame it on the chat. Ditched it all together. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Damon, the squeaky disco ball almost sounds like a ticker from back in the way back. Yeah, it is. It's our show ticker. Let's see. Straight up, Brown's gonna Brown. Raider Naster 650, Brown's gonna Brown. Isn't that the weirdest story ever? I could see how, placing a wager could get you in trouble. He did not place a wager. Windhorse did rip Luka. He really did. Oh, look, Baron Red likes this. FF Indigo. White James Harden. He kind of is, right? Offensively, spectacular. Defensively, so bad that you cannot help but factor it into how his offensive spectacular play gets muted by his own terrible defensive effort. Smiley Dan says, as a Pixar expert, your thoughts on Inside Out? I cried my eyes out last night. That movie was deep. Bing bong. Get ready for Inside Out 2. When Bing Bong launches himself off of the magic coaster so the character can reach out of the gully there, that gets you. When Bing Bong goes, it's her. Look, I've been watching more kids' movies ever. That Inside Out was very clever. That was good. I haven't cried over a Pixar movie in a while, though. I think the last time I literally did have a movie bring me to tears was that aging montage at the beginning of Up. When he loses his wife right there in the beginning and they have the sweetest, most heartbreaking little montage of their relationship and their lives together. Oh, that got me. That got me. SF Indigo says, Jay-Z comes on stage during Game 3 and Chef Curry is cooking. Who you watching? Where am I? Whatever entertainer is actually in the room with me is what I'll be watching. So if if it was Steph Curry on my phone and Jay-Z up here, I'm watching up here. That's the way that goes. Because here's the deal. I know that I'll be able to rewatch this game. I'm not going to be able to rewatch the live concert that is happening in front of me. Be in the moment. Mark, you're right. Pink Floyd at the Sphere. Pink Floyd at the Sphere would be a perfect match. It's the ultimate planetarium show. Kaiser and Gilroy saying, John Mayer, the guy who sang about daughters, he's fronting the dead. What a world. He is, and he's actually good at it. Like, I had all the John Mayer jokes until I saw him live, and I've seen him live a couple of times now. That guy can play. He's got one of the coolest musical lives ever. Like, he's got his own solo career, which I'm not a huge fan of. He's got some good songs, but John Mayer does John Mayer things. And then whenever he wants to, he gets to front the Grateful Dead and one of the great American songbooks ever. He gets to hang out with Bob Weir. Like, that's a pretty cool life, man. Rockin' new era. I'm sure Thin Tim has some saved. Look, that entire page either got totally wiped out or absolutely it's still there. And I've been at radio stations long enough to know that when someone disappears, when a host is fired, when a show is done away with, their pages don't go away. They sort of live for eternity on the mainframe. It's probably still there. Someone's White Claw is nasty. Here's the thing. It's not that it's nasty. It's just nothing. Like, if you want to drink something refreshing, drink something refreshing. If you want, I don't know, are you looking for a refreshing alcoholic beverage? Well, they have those that actually taste like real grown-up beverages that are also refreshing and delicious and, do what an alcoholic beverage is supposed to do. Me, my sunny day, I need a refreshing alcoholic beverage is Pim's Cup. I love a good Pim's Cup. Do you need fresh cucumber with that, Mr. Bruce? What are we, savages? Of course. But Pim's Cup, man, those are good. Zothmith says, Dubliner is nice. My SF State years. Hell yeah. Love to you, Jonas. Checking in all the way from Iceland. Jurgen Flurgen to you, my friend. Keep it real, D. Bruce. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we do. We do keep it real. Carly Simon, not singing about Sir Damon Brute. No, True Blue, you're right. You're So Vain is not about me. I do not even own an apricot scarf, so it can't be about me. I think we all know it's about Warren Beatty, right? Warren Beatty. Michelle Haberman said, hey, I might make it out to the halfway club on Saturday night. I got to work in San Francisco on Saturday, so I'll see. Michelle, if you can go out there, support some friends of mine, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. T from the 203 says, my girlfriend literally wants salt and pepper in my beard. Well, here's a nice thing. It's coming. It's coming. It's going to happen. Here's the thing. You can probably complain about 95.7 The Game turning things off as much as you want. I'm sure some chatters are responsible for it, and you all know who you are. Be nice to people. Be nicer out there. The amount of anonymous tough guys has always driven me nuts. True Blue Forever going, Wally. Wally was so sweet too. All he wanted to do was hold her hand, just looking for that little connection. It's amazing how we identify more human connection in robots than we do in actual humans these days. T from the 203 says, Damon, your thoughts on the Reds fan being tased when going out to the field? I'm all for it. I am all for it. I am about physically harming people who think that it's funny or cool to go on the field to play. Like, I would be totally cool if they broke someone's arm while they're out there. Like you like bring it on the Jumbotron and you literally bring out the fan ran on a field anvil and then you break the arm over the anvil. Is message sent, everybody? Anyone else coming out here tonight? No? Okay. Yeah, no, tase him away. Tase him. I hope he pissed his pants. I have no mercy, no sympathy for anyone who would ever dare interrupt a sporting event by thinking me running on this field is going to add to everyone else's experience. That person should be straight up dealt with. So I'm all about it. By the way, Michelle is pro Bing Bong. Thank you, Michelle. Damon, I was dying last night watching The Parent Trap in the Florida Keys. You're in the Florida Keys. Why are you watching Parent Trap? And if you are watching Parent Trap, I hope you're watching the old one. Although, wasn't that the last moment where what's her name was before she turned into a wreck? What was her name? God, I forgot her name even. She was the cause celeb. Lindsay Lohan. There it is, Lindsay Lohan. She was cute in that. She was sweet. And then she got into cocaine and wasn't cute or sweet ever again. Up. Yeah. Up killed me. Up is something. Up hit me hard. Up hit me hard. Yep. Up. Red Jet. Up. Up was rough, man. Zothmus said, you know what, man? I worked a Dead Show backstage with John Mayer. It was good. Yeah, Mayer's good, man. He's really good. He's Orville Schredenbacher. In my entire name of coming up with, descriptions of how good was that guitar, Orville Schredenbacher. Mwah. I mean, I'm giving you a chef's kiss. Christopher, you have won today's chat. Your prize for winning today's chat is to use promo code Daddy at Ikes. There you go. So you're all winners because you can all use that. KNBR still has Ralph drops. Hey, look, so does Wake Up with Damon and Larry, except we do our Ralph impressions. We do it live. Good stuff. Good stuff. Orange California coolers were good. What, Orange California coolers? Like Bartles and James? The wine coolers? Remember those? Yep, Lohan. That's it. Donna Reed was the original Parent Trap. Lindsay Lohan was the coked up disaster. Yeah, the original was Haley Mills. There you go. Haley Mills. Look at that. A lot of information coming in late in today's show. Hey, thank you so much for sticking around, hanging out in Club Plus. As always, hanging out with you is, it's not my pleasure. It's my privilege. I'm glad I get to do it. Chat will remain on. You all remain good to each other. And I hope you all plan on making it back here. By the way, I'm going to let you know, we're going to do a Wake Up with Larry. And then Friday's show probably isn't going to happen because my mom is flying in late tonight, which means she and I are going to be going to lunch. Maybe we'll do like a hello together on YouTube for you, just a quick short or something. But I got Linda coming to town. The Duchess is coming to town. So we'll see if there's a Friday show or not. And if there isn't, we'll be back doing a couple of next week. And then I'm going up to Tahoe. We'll be doing some peeking in from Tahoe. But it's a little bit of a summer break coming up for yours truly. And if you don't mind me saying, well-deserved. Been grinding away for 14 months here. Almost no breaks. So a little disconnect from the Matrix, I think, is what the doctor ordered. And then our official ramp up to football season will begin in earnest, baby. In the meantime, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for making me feel so special, so beautiful. Breaks my heart to let you know that you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here.